In view of majesty and beauty galore, you can't remove the allure. A vision sent and grew to be adored, a riddle concealed and simple, witty as war. Built amidst the city and Egyptian shores, the demise of many and the end of many more. A creature in the morning that's sitting on all fours, by the noontime standing on two over by the door.
Hey guys, welcome to the lab. We're back with another episode of Sundaze with the Clink Room. Today joined by Timothy Appel, aka Gemini Triplets. Tim, how are you doing today?
Doing great. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to come join me on the show. You've been a part of the show for a long time in terms of a viewer. You're a constant viewer and contributors. I do appreciate that. You did join us for the community episode one time, but we've squared away some time to get to know you on a more one-on-one basis. I'm excited to have you.
Oh, cool. It's good to be here.
Yeah, perfect. So for those uninformed, you've been kind of like a concept artist with the Clink Room. I'm assuming big-time collector as well. How did you kind of discover the world of the Clink Room?
I kind of don't even remember how it happened, but it was like during the pandemic. I was always a hat guy. I wore baseball hats, but not necessarily fitted hats. And I think at the time I was wearing kind of like a tactical ball cap, one that has Velcro on the front, and I was searching for patches for it. And I think that's how Clink Room just popped up in my feed, and I thought, wow, that's kind of neat. Nice. So I was just watching it for a long time. Again, it took me time before I pulled the trigger on a hat. I let several go that I wish I hadn't, but because it just wasn't what I was into quite yet. So,
what kind of inspired you to start collaborating with different artists? So, your portfolio is full of work with a wide range of artists. So I'm looking at Raphael, Jacobo, Seamus, Josh. Like you have a pretty wide range of clinkers that you've kind of teamed up with and produced some pretty cool pieces. Like what kind of got you to start doing that?
So like I said, I really like the concept of the Clink Room, and I was thinking, man, it'd be really cool to have my hat, like what I want, not just what's available. And I think I was real nervous about it at first, like reaching out to somebody, because I think when I first started viewing, most of them were just actual artists doing the artwork. And I think I shot an email to the Clink Room and asked them, I said, hey, if I had an idea, do you think any of the artists would do my idea?
Right.
Because I think at the time I didn't even realize that Lane was not even an artist, that he was just an idea guy like I've become. Yeah. So,
yeah.
And they said, yeah, just reach out to somebody. And I think Raphael was the first person I reached out to.
Right.
So
that's pretty awesome. What kind of draws you to certain designs, like in terms of like a concept artist? Like how do you know when a concept has like Clink Room potential?
I think initially I wanted to do I came up with some like team name ideas because they had like the leagues, and my ideas didn't necessarily fit into the leagues, like but that's kind of what I was trying to do initially. And then, like I said, the first one I did was with Raphael, and that was the Drill Sergeant Kong, which they ended up changing the name on. But I wanted to do a Kong variation, and I want to tie in my Army service and everything. So, that's awesome. And that's how that came up.
That's awesome. Yeah, and ended up just dropping the drill part, so he just became Sergeant Kong. Yeah, I love that silhouette. You guys kind of kept the pencils and added the that specific hat. It's a real cool piece. You also started a couple hats that like eventually became cool series. So like Cash Cow, I think with Seamus and his kind of money origami series. He eventually released one with me and the Capologist, Dollar and Daydream. So you also have that kind of like love series that you and Aurelian kind of started.
Right.
Like, what about these particular pieces that makes them so easy to kind of like expand and kind of continue like a long line of pieces? Are you like thinking of them as a collector piece, or are you more focusing on like the concept itself?
I think I was just focusing on the concept, especially like say California Love.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually inspired by it to do for that one from Lane, the one Lane did, the New York.
Okay.
I can't remember the name of it, but it was, I think it was a hip hop song title also, and it was themed with New York. So I got the idea, and it was just like I wanted, I'm from Northern California, and I just wanted to incorporate images of Northern California.
Right.
And so it was the bear and the Golden Gate Bridge and the evergreen trees. Sequoias didn't quite have I mean, if you've seen a sequoia or a giant redwood, it looks different. People might not even realize that what it looks like if they saw it on the hat.
Right.
So we went with the evergreens and then the poppies. I don't think there was ever any plans for it to go beyond that, but a few people started doing them, and it was like, okay.
Yeah, it's real cool because that piece has just so many little details, like you said, like just to kind of tie it in, and eventually, we saw different variations. I believe there's like a Hawaiian version, Florida Man, and so on and so forth. So it is cool, like how people just kind of like saw that and like, oh, I want to do one, for where I'm from, and so on and so forth. So it kind of like spawned a mini series, which was kind of cool. Do you have any favorite clinkers? Ones you've worked with, or even ones that you haven't worked with?
Well, I mean, I definitely have favorite clinkers. But I mean, it's a whole range of them. I don't know if I like anyone in particular. Maybe certain styles. Like, I love Phil's work. I love the characters that he creates.
So much personality for his stuff.
Yeah. Kyle Page does really great stuff. Obviously, Aurelian does great stuff. So, I mean, we could name them all off. There's very few that I can't think of that do great work. It's just where they fit in.
For sure.
I don't know if you remember it. Speaking of Kyle Page, we did a letter form one, and it was a throwback to the sardines that used to be here in Monterey Bay.
Okay.
Unfortunately, that didn't get made, but I was so excited by that when he did that.
Yeah, letters, are tough because like as sports fans, that's kind of stuff that we gravitate towards. Like the NY, the LA. It's so like iconic and it means so much. But I don't know, for whatever reason, it seems like they don't vote well sometimes. But some of the best clinkers, like I'm like off rip, Hillside, letter artist, like just letter master. I just feel like sometimes we need a little bit more of that stuff. It's hard too because like sometimes when it feels too forced, you can kind of tell. But like when it becomes more natural and stuff like that, I do wish more letters kind of made it. In terms of like your collector perspective, though, like as a collector, like what kind of aspects of either the hat or even the design make it collectible to you? Like, do you have any favorite pieces in your collection?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, I wore one tonight. I was really excited. So this was well before I got into the Clink Room, and this became available, at some point, when people were starting to shed some of their collections. So I snatched it up right away. One of my first ones that I bought was an Aurelian, the Valkyries. I really like that one a lot. I think a lot of the ones that have that real sports feel to them, I like.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
That's
love
awesome.
Phil's Bok Choy.
Yep. Right there. Right there.
What happened? Oh, you're pointing
Oh,
at it.
I'm saying it's right there, literally.
Yeah. Well, it's great because it has that sports feel, and you know, I 15 minutes away from the salad bowl of the world, so it's grown here.
Great pun too, high level pun, and just an amazing piece of art. In terms of like your creative process, can you kind of like walk us through like a typical, you know, idea to pitch to kind of process to? Like, how do you like even decide like which artist to even approach?
You know, I don't know. I haven't come up with, you know, like as many great ideas as say Don, but like sometimes it just pops in my head and I think about it. I can give you a couple. Like I said, the Joel Silent Kong was a throwback to my days in the Army. So Sakuranami, that also plays back to my Army days when I went to Japan.
Awesome.
And then, you know, just the view of the sakura trees when they're in bloom and everything, it's amazing. And it's literally like the wind will pick up the blossoms that have fallen off the tree, and that's where I envisioned like, you know, a giant wave of them. And so I wanted to blend tsunami with sakura.
That's such an awesome piece. I think the concept and the art is amazing, but like just the execution of embroidery on the thing, how it's just like kind of thick raised and kind of perfectly packed in. Every stitch is meant to be there. I think that's one of the, you know, one of those almost perfect clink hats. Normally you don't like to give too many perfect marks, but that one's one of the I think one of those ones. And the colorway you guys chose is excellent. And it keeps coming back, so it's kind of a testament to that piece. But in terms of community impact, how do you think like the Clink Room and the collector community have kind of impacted the hat world in general? Like it kind of stands as this like separate piece to like the hat collector world, but you know it kind of stands on its own too.
So you know, I'm not 100% certain. I mean, I'm not a hat collector in the traditional sense, like say you are, or Pierre, or all those other guys that we see from Views from the Vault or on Instagram. I'm pretty much contained to the Clink Room only. I mean, I do have a bunch of San Francisco Giants hats because you know that's my team,
right?
And I have some Expos hats because I love that logo, and they don't exist anymore. You know, so I don't feel like I'm cheating on my team by wearing it.
Yeah.
But I just think the Clink Room's super awesome. I like the concept of the custom logos and having it look like it could be a real team, or just how neat it is. Like I said, being able to come up with the idea yourself and have your own design on a hat. I would love to see someone out in the wild wearing one of the hats I came up with.
Yeah, that's awesome. That'd be awesome.
But yeah, I think it's pretty neat. I think it's being well received in the collector world. I mean, it's growing for sure. I think a lot of people didn't look at it before, but they're starting to notice it. And it's probably obvious by how many people are submitting now too. So
for sure. I think there's for a good number of crossover. I think Casey does a great job at making sure that, you know, new business and new collectors are finding the Clink Room. You see it a lot in like the buy sell trade group. You'll see people, you know, names you don't really recognize, and they'll post up like they're in search of. So like they'll you know, still looking for these two hats, and you know they're kind of chasing their grails. So that's pretty cool. And yeah, like you mentioned, you know, you'll get some people that only collect a certain team and kind of found it and like, oh, cool, this is complete art. So you're not really like, feeling like you're cheating on your team by wearing another type of hat. Are you, how active are you within the like social scene, like the community itself? Like, are you on the buy sell trade group? Are you in the Discord?
Yeah, I'm on the buy sell trade group. I'm in Discord. I'm not as active as a lot of people. So I'm often there reading,
Yeah.
and in terms of participation, like I'll like or reply with a comment, but not necessarily post on my own all the time.
Yeah, it's cool. It's a cool like place to be and kind of like, yeah, like you mentioned, like linger. I know I'm guilty of like not posting a lot too, but like I'll come and kind of see what the temperature is and kind of feel for kind of the trends and seeing what people are liking, not liking. Try not to take some of the the direct criticisms too personal, but it's part of the game. You put your stuff out there, and people are going to say what they're going to say. In terms of challenges, what were some of your like biggest challenges and proudest moments in your kind of collaboration history?
Probably my biggest challenge was trying to get my son involved.
Oh, really?
He's an exceptional artist, but his first couple designs he put out, like the Retro Sakuranami and Deadly Aces, which it's funny. I when I pitched the idea to him for Deadly Aces, it was literally meant to be the Ghost of Kiev, which was the story at the time, coming from the Ukraine war. And I thought, oh, they probably wouldn't run it if you put a name like that. And I was thinking maybe we probably should have and just let them change it if they wanted to. But
yeah.
So yeah, he did those, but it's really hard to motivate him. He has different things he likes to do, and he's really good at technical drawing. Like he can, with a pencil, draw a scene or draw a car, and it looks like the real car on the page. So it's highly detailed. And I don't think he's super comfortable doing the type of artwork that it takes to do these,
Yeah.
To, for lack of a better term, but, dumb it down, thicken up the lines, use less detail, but use like the colors and the shadow play that you use with the colors to show the detail.
Right. All right. What was he like a classically trained artist? Did he go to school for that or anything?
No. He, I mean, like I said, when he did those designs, he was 16.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He just does it on his own. He's had some art classes in high school, and he's taking art now in junior college now that he's there.
Yeah.
And he's good. He's taken like a painting class, and he did a really cool painting.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think he just needs that practice.
Yeah. It's one of those things. It's tough too because like, it kind of brings me into my next question. It's like when you're submitting, you're kind of putting yourself out there. Like right now, even the hit rate is pretty hard. Like, out of like the hundreds of people that submit, and then you got to be selected to be put in the crits, and then maybe it doesn't make it, or maybe it does make it. You're someone that's submitted your fair share of designs and pieces up for like consideration. Like, what do you tell people that that may not have a track record like yourself, or may not know some of the stuff that's left on the cutting room floor to keep motivated and keep going?
I would just tell people, just keep trying. I mean, obviously it's harder now. I mean, I was lucky to find it when I did, when there were less people submitting and it was only 10 submissions a week. So I think it was easier to get something in before than it is now.
Yeah.
And the other part of it is it seems like the tastes in the design are changing, and it's, you either got to cater to what's out there, if you can figure out what it is that people want, or just take the hits, doing the designs you want to do. And and hopefully they'll like it when it gets put in. But you might,
Yeah.
they might not.
Yeah, it's tough, right? Because you're trying to like put something out there that's visually like appealing. It looks good. It has to vote well, but then also has to sell well too. So it's like all these like little things, and we've seen kind of Clink tinker with their voting. It was strict yes no. Then it went to a sliding scale for like a week or two. That was pretty cool because you can kind of see like your level of yes and no, and then now there's more feedbacks stuff, multiple choice, and kind of you're able to kind of manually put in suggestions and comments, which the positive ones I've been told will get filtered and sent to the artist, which is pretty cool. How are you finding the new changes to the voting? Do you have an opinion on it, or are you liking it?
I like that they're trying to see if making adjustments to it will change things.
Mhm.
I just don't know. The straight up or down voting looks clear for us on our side. When they did the slider, it was three choices and it was kind of on a slide. I made some mistakes there. Like as soon as you let go of it, it's done. And so I came up short on one that I would have slid all the way to the right. I think the most recent one there was, I feel like there was too much information in it. I wasn't sure if I liked it. I mean, I like being able to comment. That was pretty neat. But it's a mix. Like when they say is straight to go to the shop, is it ready to go to the shop, or could it use more work, or need a color, maybe the colorway? Well, does maybe the colorway count as like, send it to the shop, just change the color,
True. Yeah. It's almost like you need like multiple to be able to all answer multiples. But it's tough because like Instagram's not really built for this to house, such an important like business decision. I feel like, sometimes people are like, I wish they just did this. I wish they did that. But like sometimes they're just at the mercy of what, Instagram is. I do know the main thing for them to kind of change it up was to basically get more engagement and have it more to get more feedback. Really trying to narrow down the 20 is got to be tough for him and the team on a weekly basis. Number one, to find the entries to get in, and number two is just like find the right ones to hit the shop, because there's always going to be debate. You might see something that you like, but then they changed up the colorway, or you might see like an anatomical error, but it's still in there, 2 left feet or something. It's just funny sometimes. But for the most part, I do think they do a good job of mixing it up between the stuff in the queue, stuff you haven't seen before, and then just things that do well in crits. But appreciate you taking the time to do that. Let's kind of cover the week that was for the Clink Room. So this week, you had one in the fresh colorways. Drop 40 was featured 3 times. And your initial thoughts, how are you liking the fresh colorways like concept, or not like
I like them. I fall into the anti side patch crowd, so I prefer them to not have them. But that hasn't stopped me from getting any.
I saw you got busy with seam ripper and unstitched an American flag, but you were a former military, so I guess you're allowed to do that. But
But I just felt it didn't match the hat. That's all.
I kind of agree with you. So just one of those things. But in terms of like the concept itself, like, do you like the idea of kind of using like existing popular designs and kind of like, bringing them back in like a new way?
I do. But sometimes I feel like the colorways are a little wild. I'd like them to be simpler sometimes. Like, not a good example is some of these look great, but how do I want to say it? I think like if they just rework the colorway, like maybe the first colorway they do off of a hat is like rearrange the colors. So like a good example was like the Vandals, when they brought the Vandals back and they did that blue crown.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure, and then they did a red one. I wasn't sure if I wanted it, but like if they had just flipped the colors a little bit and like because the original hat was black, right?
Black with like a
So what if they had done like a purple crown with black visor, black button, and not always change up the color of the embroidery. Like sometimes some of the embroideries, when you change the colors, they don't quite look right. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fair.
So.
I mean, especially for Vandals, that was such a hat that I think so many people just missed on, whether you just weren't collecting at the time or you saw the mock-up and didn't see the vision. I'm in the party of I saw the mock-up and I just didn't know how good it was going to be. So selfishly, I think we just wanted another chance to get it. And then they did the 90s version first before even this whole new like world of like recoloring stuff. But I'm with you. Like if the first version of like that one specifically, Vandals, like a design that just people wanted was just like another black one, but maybe they just changed the spray paint color, I think that would have done like so well. But the thematic stuff too, I find that like these ones in particular where everything's the same colorway, if you don't like the colorway, you're just not gonna buy. But I do like the ones where it's like a curated set. So like here he did like a conscious effort to pick stuff that looked more Japanese. So I do enjoy that one. So let's kind of break them down. This little 6-pack we got here. So Phantom Fencers, Quick Draws, and Daruma, 40 twice and Ian once. What are your thoughts on these 3 hats?
I think they're all great. I was actually tempted to get the Daruma because I don't have the original.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And I have the other 2, so that's why I didn't get those 2. I ultimately ended up not getting it because I bought one of mine for myself, and 2 of my sons wanted it. We were only able to get one because one size was sold out already. So I didn't get any from this pack, but Daruma I was tempted to. I do like the way it looks.
Yeah, that one's real cool. They all kind of have like this like kind of blue, kind of turquoisey tint to it, which is kind of interesting. I do like how like Phantom Fencers and Quick Draws, when put together, it's almost like a scene, so it's kind of cool. Like 2 hats kind of facing each other.
True.
In terms of the Daruma one specifically, I'm just so used to seeing like Darumas in red. It kind of is a little bit too different for me, but it is a cool piece. It's like a big face design. Ian always comes with the strong like Asian theme. Designs, I think, like Nine Tails. This one, he did that Crow too, I believe. But yeah, he's always bringing the heat. And then we got Mecha Kong, Sukunarami, and Smiles and Cries. You mentioned picking up the middle one for yourself. Obviously, that one's yours. But the other 2, like, how are you feeling about these ones?
I think Smiles and Cries looks good. I really want to like Mecha Kong, but I feel like the color's the wrong color for that. You imagine the big old like kaiju and I can't even think of the names right now of the robots, but the big robots, and
The
and
Gundam
it just
style.
feels like it was
Or
the wrong
Gundam,
color.
Gundam wing. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I really want to like that one. I would love to have a Mecha Kong, but I just feel like the color was wrong for it.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I'm kind of with you, but because I have Mecha Kong 1 and 2, it kind of compelled me to get this third version. I just really like the design. But now that you mention it, yeah, I can kind of see what you're saying totally. I feel like the Sukunarami, Mecha Kong, and Daruma kind of fell in that. Like that they're just so different from the original colorway.
Yeah.
But strong. I think overall strong 6-pack. Anything with a lot of 40, I'm all in.
It's definitely good. And 40. Didn't mention him earlier, but yeah, he does really solid design. So
yeah, definitely. All right, and then let's cover the last call. So these next 6 designs we're going to talk about. Basically, their pre-orders end midnight tonight Eastern. So this is your last call to get them at the reduced price before they get sent into production. So El Sembranon, I butchered that, sorry. Galaxy Vibes and Eternal. Flanagan with Jake. What are your thoughts on these 3 initial designs?
I think my favorite of the 3 is probably El Somberon.
Yeah,
I think that right.
Yeah, well, we both probably butchered it, but you know, we made the attempt.
Yeah, I should be able to say it. I think the hardest part I'm having is being able to read it right here.
Yeah,
that's my favorite one. It's solid. Sierra does just really good characters. And he always gets his lighting right and his anatomy right. So it's really cool. The Galaxy Vibes, I also fall into the less scenery camp.
yeah.
Not that there aren't any that are good. I just feel like I think 1 or 2 that I have is enough. And then I also think, how detailed that is. I hope it turns out for the people who got it. But I wouldn't take the chance on it myself.
Yeah, that one's tough because there's just so many little details, and like the person is done like to scale, but it's just so small. That's kind of my issue with it. But in terms of art, it's a beautiful piece. The colorways good, like that kind of almost lavender purple. The swirl isn't done nice, but
it's very cool. And you got to figure Casey must believe it could be pulled off because he even added the reflection in the river, right? So, yeah, we'll see. It stands a chance to look really good.
Yeah,
fingers crossed.
And then Eternal, like Flanagan, I feel like had this one kind of rolling in crits for a while and kind of came back. Saw like a reappearance. Just like American tattoo, Sailor Jerry style piece. Tiger battling a dragon. It's a real rad piece too.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at the next.
I definitely think.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, I was just gonna say I like it. I think I would have liked it if there might have been a little bit more separation with the tiger and the dragon to see them a little bit clearer, but that's all.
Yeah. I like how he kind of shaded it like it's a tattoo too. It's pretty cool. All right. Moving forward, we got Brain Freeze and Dreamcatcher. So Marlon is back with his kind of Native American style designs, and then Jake has his second one this week with Ed Weird, and they have Brain Freeze. What are your thoughts on these?
I think Brain Freeze is going to look awesome. That's one that I'm not getting. It's just probably not my style, but I think it's going to look super cool. Ed's art is he's got his style and it's really neat. It's fun.
Yeah, definitely.
And then the Dreamcatcher, I think that's probably going to look pretty good. It's not overly complicated.
Yeah, it's a rad piece. It's also a colorway you don't really see that often. Navy blue and brown. I think they just work real well together. And then you got the almost like this vice blue with almost pink and red, kind of contrasting each other. It's a real rad piece. Brain freeze is cool too. It's got a lot of like little tiny tricks in it. You see like almost the tonal outline to kind of just set it off and give it separation. You're seeing that kind of trickle in with other people's designs too. A lot of people are using like this kind of fake outline that's not there but still there. I think that's like a cool little trick that you're seeing kind of being picked up by some of the artists. But yeah, so those are your hats that are heading to production. And then we had a shock drop. So they're continuing their run with the big Clink word mark, and this time coming in the Misty colorway. Clinker Casey did it with his hometown of San Diego side patch. Typically, if you see the big Clink word mark, there's usually a Kong to kind of match it. So take that for a little bit of insider trading. But how do you feel about this particular one?
I like the colors. I think it's great. I bought one big Clink. It's the gray and black one. All right, did I describe it? It had the gray crown and the black brim and the red under.
Okay, yeah.
I really like. I missed out on the re-release. Oh, actually, you know what? I did buy a big Clink. I bought the big Clink in navy with the 4 pencils on it.
Yep. The navy and the white. Yeah. Okay. That one hasn't even shipped yet.
No. Yeah. But yeah, I was gonna say that's what I would like to have as a navy. Maybe Casey. He probably will always put a patch on this one for the branding. But if he's ever willing to do one without a patch, I'd probably grab that.
Yeah. I think all of the new ones have had a patch on them.
Yeah.
I would like to see him selfishly do like you could have it with or without patch. I don't really care, but just do them all like baseball hats. So the one you kind of mentioned, the navy with white, to me looks like a Yankee hat. I think he did one that looked like a Dodger hat, but just keep doing them in all the teams.
Oh, like team colors, like
yeah,
Padres and yeah. Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah, I think that's just such a layup. Just do them all, like, because
you
can wear them to the game.
If he did a black one with an orange Clink script on it, I'd wear that to the Giants game.
Yeah, and I think that's just such a layup. Also, like, I wish we would get a good like either like a C. I mean, I guess TCR would be hard to do, but like just a nice C would be cool.
Oh yeah.
But nice little pack. I'll kind of just show off what they look like in hand. So give me a second here. So we'll start off with the 3 from the fresh colorway pack. I did pick up 3. As I mentioned, I did get the Mecha Kong. So the embroidery on this thing is just unreal. And it's kind of like mint Tiffany really blue with the gold, kind of almost like a Charlotte Hornets almost kind of colorway, if you've seen their city jersey. And then I was really happy to get a chance at this because shout out to the Postal Service. I mean, it's not any fault of the Clinks, but they ended up losing the pre-order of mine. So Phantom Fencers.
Oh, no.
Yeah, the original color is so good. This one's pretty cool too, though. Just that added a detail, that raised embroidery on like the mask and kind of the kind of kendo stick is just so rad. And it's in a pose that you don't normally see. Just 40, just a master at just, space. And then quick draws. I wasn't going to get quick draws initially because I do have the original. But just being able to put them together, kind of, fighting each other, I was just like, all right, this is too cool of an opportunity. I don't know. I'm a big 40 fan. And then I do love the big Clink word mark, so a misty kind of colorway. And then this is almost like a monochromatic almost side patch, San Diego. Beautiful city. Got to visit again when I went to visit Casey at the office. Just an amazing place. So those are what we have in hand. And then now we're going to move on to the main event, which is the crits. So we've done a little bit of your homework. So I'm interested to see how.
I actually did not find time to do the homework.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, just I'm cool with it. Like for me, I prefer to just kind of read and react. I don't like to do too much advanced looking at them. So I kind of just forget after I put them on the slide. So let's do it. So these 20 designs will be up for voting tomorrow. So 2 birds, 1 stone. Creature and Heather got together for this one. What are you thinking here?
I actually like it. It's very clean and simple. You've got the traditional birds facing each other, and then the gemstone in the center. I think I've had many of the same ideas as Creature, but he gets them out before me. And I think I've tried to think of 2 birds, 1 stone before, but maybe I was overthinking it or trying to figure something out. And this is real simple. I mean, it's not the exact meaning, obviously.
Yeah, you're not killing them with that stone.
Yeah. But the layout's good. I like it.
Yeah, I almost wish. I don't know how they would do it. I don't know how we would embroider, but I almost wish the birds were bigger. They almost look like budgies, or almost even yeah. I mean, like a sparrow shape, but not quite sparrow. But yeah, it's a cool piece. That kind of like vice blue, cerulean blue kind of reminds me of like when the Blue Jays converted their like jerseys to black. You see like a lot of like that black, blue, and silver. Yeah, it's a cool piece. The diamond I feel is a little small, but if it's a pun, Donovan's going to come after it. So 2 birds, 1 stone. Like you said, it's not. You're not looking to kill them, at least, but right. the name fits. But yeah, it's a cool piece. I wish they would just scale it maybe like 30% bigger. But good start so far. Number 2, we got a 2 for roughing. Sunlow Scott. How are you feeling about this?
I think it's a clever name. Not super excited about the dogs. I think the details part, and then the mouth on the one on the left looks a little funny.
Yeah, he's missing his top teeth, I feel like.
Yeah, or no tongue. I don't know what it is. There's something strange about his lower jaw, I think. I know hockey's a tough sell. I'm all for any of the other sports being in there.
Yeah,
because I like other sports. So overall, the idea, I think it's great. It's funny, and
it's definitely a good pun. It's a good concept. Not the 2 dogs I would pick for roughing. Or at least one of them, like that kind of bulldog looking one is a typical like a rougher kind of dog. But maybe there's some sentimental value. Maybe those are 2 dogs he owns.
Yeah, I think we've seen that a lot with dogs in the designs. It's usually the artist's dog. So
yeah. But all right, cool. Moving forward, Reno de Oro.
Okay. Yeah, this is one I wanted to look up.
Okay. So we can look it up because they have not blocked me, so we can look up what they said about it. Let's see. Let's see what Zach said about this hat.
So I'm assuming it must be some sort of mythological creature.
Yeah.
It looks neat. It looks like a blend of a cat and an octopus.
So the Mosh headdress embodied power and prestige, the craftsmanship and metalwork for the time. 100 to 700 CE was exceptional. Adorned on the headdress is a gold frontlet that depicted the feline god with 8 tentacles ending in a catfish heads that also resembles serpents. Yeah. That was a lot to take in, but it is a very specific thing. So, it's good. It's a good piece. Nice balance.
Yeah, I think so. It definitely does have good balance. Fills the space well. For lack of knowing what it is, not knowing what it is, I think that's the hard part. But I think it'll look cool. And hopefully, the parts of the tentacles towards the end looks like it could get a little muddy because of the detail. But
Yeah.
if not, if it turns out fine, I think it'll look really cool.
Yeah. The cool thing about those details is he didn't use another color. So those could be just negative space. That could kind of help the embroidery process a little bit. Yeah, my issue with it is similar to yours. Is like if you're just not familiar with it, you just don't know what you're looking at. But in terms of the art, it's drawn really nice. It's a cool piece, for sure. And good to see the fitted chef kind of sticking with it. We've seen him he's more of like a licensed collector, but you see him come back with a couple pieces now, I believe. So
I don't know if I know who that is.
Yeah, he's like a collector / like designer. He's done a lot of like Boston hats.
Okay.
Yeah, he's from the Boston area. So
the only chef I know that wears the fitted hats is the Chef Reviews.
Oh yeah, he's hilarious. I've always thought about trying to get him get him some hats too. Yeah, his non-expression makes it more funny. Yeah, he's funny. All right, moving forward. The Monk, Matt Bells and Whistles, kind of continuing his like fantasy series. We saw him with I think Crusader, Necromancer. This time Monk. I don't know if it's specifically tied together with that kind of series, but it just kind of feels like he's kind of building like this almost video game roster of designs here. But what's your initial thoughts here?
I think it's pretty neat. I right off the bat, I don't know exactly what he's going for, but there's some appeal to me because it feels familiar. Like it feels like, The Last Airbender or something like that, So unlike, something you have zero familiarity with, at least it looks a little bit familiar.
Yeah, I agree. It's a cool piece. I don't know if I love the undervisor color being like that rust color. I probably would opt for like a something more neutral, color neutral, maybe like a green or a gray. It's blocked like it's like a tiger's hat almost with the navy and orange. So it almost feels like necessary to have a gray or green. I'm more traditional in that sense, but yeah, it's a cool piece. Almost feels like a mix of like Street Fighter meets like anime almost. But I'm with you. It feels familiar, but still it's unique and it's drawn real nice. So good job, Matt. Honey Crusher by Gabe. What are your thoughts here?
This is an old one, right? Or did he do this again recently?
I feel like it's a recent. I feel like there was one that was a bee swinging that thing, but I think that was the Sierra Collins hat.
Right. This reminds me of the other one he did where he's running with the bees behind it. It looks like the same character.
Yes.
I think it looks good. I mean, he definitely does good with some of his cartoon characters. Sometimes they look a little silly. This one looks a little better because this has more of that mascot feel to it.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think this looks pretty good. I don't know about the yellow undervisor, or the yellow he used for the undervisor and the button. It looks a little too light compared to the yellow he used for the embroidery.
Yeah, they look like they're different yellows almost.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is kind of like Gabe loves his bears. And yeah, this one is really similar. I mean, so swinging stinger Sierra Gons was a bee swinging the same thing, but this one's a bear swinging the same thing. It just feels similar a little bit. But yeah, I'm with you. The yellow under, I would just do it gray. Do it gray. Yeah, but all right. Good job, Gabe. Moving forward, number 6, we got the Crawler, 14.8. What are your thoughts on this one? Cool piece.
Yeah, I think it's pretty neat. It's neat how he, turn the spider instead, because normally when you see a spider, I think on a hat or any kind of design, it's usually straight up and down, right?
Yeah, like the Spider-Man logo almost.
Right. And I like the simplicity of it. So I think it looked pretty neat. It also looks neat because it almost looks like you can go both directions, a spider in one way and then something else the other direction because of the skull on the abdomen. Yeah.
He got like a little hidden C there too. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Almost looks like a mix between, like, it could be a tattoo, it could be something made out of, construction paper. Like, it's a cool piece. He's got like a real solid kind of art style. Kind of mixing like gothic elements and kind of dark elements. Yeah, he's a solid artist for sure. Number 7, Vitamin C. Phil Hauser got together with Donovan for this lime-like character.
Yeah, I remember this.
Yeah, I do like how his hat is the juicer thing too.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
No, this is great. So this one never saw crits before?
I don't remember it hitting crits. Okay. Would have to go back and check, but I don't know. Maybe they did like I've been hearing people just doing like resubmits with just new colorways, hoping you get in.
Yeah. No, this is great though. I mean, it's classic Phil artwork. The pun is great. The hat being the juicer. So yeah, I think this is good.
I don't know if the original one was yellow. I feel like this should be almost a lemon, not a lime. But the colorway works, black and green.
Well, looks. I don't know my seafaring terms, but I think limey means something.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe I'm being stupid and think I know something, but yeah, I think limey is a sailor.
Okay.
Or a sailor. Enough.
Yeah. That's that went over my head then. But yeah, he almost looks like he's shaped like a lemon though.
Right.
With that kind of bit with the ear. But yeah, like you said, it might be something that's over my head. But it's a cool piece for sure. Yeah, because to me, I don't think like people use. I guess you would use the juicer for the lime and use it for different stuff, but yeah, in terms of like just drinking the juice, I think of more of a lemon thing than a lime thing, but. It's a rad piece, regardless. Abduction, CBS Inc. What do you think about this?
I think this is cool. I really like it. I like the character. I'm glad they chose the one with the full body, the leg or tentacles, not the half body one he did.
Yeah.
With the name Abduction, and he's stealing home plate. Kind of a play on that, stealing home. I think it's great, and it has kind of, to me, this has that classic Clink feel, like when I first started seeing Clink hats. What's the one, the Astronomicals or like Hakobos, the the
pinup
female
one
with the
almost.
ray gun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the pinup style one.
Yeah. So I like this.
This is rad, man. Yeah, I like it. Not enough like running poses, not enough good like swinging poses, I feel like. So yeah, this like you said, just kind of harkens back to those kind of like good solid mascot type logos that you normally wouldn't see out there. They're just more unique and stuff like that. And again, you see that use of like that fake outline almost, where there's an outline, but it's so close to the color of the crown. I think that's just like a cool little trick you can do to extend your design and still kind of accentuate the thing. So yeah, so Chad's on it, man. Chad's solid artist. Cool piece, fits the hat real well. You know exactly what you're looking at. You don't need a crazy backstory. I like how he didn't muddy it up with too much flowy stuff. He almost looks like he's got like a octopus tentacles. So I'm just glad he didn't use like 8 limbs and just made it too crazy. It's like just enough. Like the use of restraint is really cool. And yeah, like you said, that baseball sports tie-in, abduction, stealing home, Space Invader. It's just like a real cool piece. Forced Fear. Heather, what do you think of this?
It looks good. A little dark, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe that's could also be what you're going for there. So I don't know. Is that Bigfoot or?
Yeah, like a Yeti, almost Sasquatch, Bigfoot, all the above.
It's good. Maybe wish there was something a little bit more to it.
Mm-hmm. I think what throws it off a little bit is there's no real good way to end it. Like you can see the shape is real good, and he's like lit on one side and not lit on the other side, but then the outline goes the whole way. So I think there's just some stylistically some choices she's gonna make.
Yeah, well, I mean, maybe that's what she's going for. Because like I said, it's dark, so maybe it's like, it's coming out of the darkness, so it's on that dark crown like that.
Mm-hmm.
So the light won't cast everywhere, so that's why you mentioned where it ends, but it ends where the light ends, I guess.
Yeah,
I think it might be popular. I think there'll be people who like it for sure.
Vote it well. Yeah, I think one little trick you can do is just get rid of the shoulders. You don't need the shoulders. Just have the head there, and then kind of use that trick that everyone's using with the tonal outline. That way, you don't have to worry about where it ends and it doesn't show up on the bottom. And, just get the face and you're good to go. It's drawn good enough. Solid piece for sure. Good job, Heather. Final Cadence 14/8, back with another one. Looks like the canary sung its last. Notes here. What are your thoughts on this one?
I like it. It's super simple. I think it'll look good embroidered. I thought he did that on a black hat. Maybe he resubmitted it on a lighter crown.
It's possible.
I think it would look cool on a darker hat. The notes would stand out more, and then you kind of get that canary and a coal mine expression out of that. So like, if the hat was black like coal, I think it would make more sense. But I like this. I think Creature will be happy too. I think he really liked this one a lot.
Yeah, it's a good piece. I like the notes almost showing up like emojis almost. Just a rad piece. Good job, 14/8. Oops. Yeah. Kappa. I feel like this is either a resubmit or an old design. Maybe they're digging deep to find older ones. I do remember him doing this in a different pose almost. So James is back with this kind of lake monster. Yeah, I remember looking it up one time, but what are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I don't know if this was a resubmit or not. I know he was working on it again to resubmit it. I think it's cool. It's Kappa is Japanese mythology. It's a what are they? A yokai. But I think it'll suffer the people not being familiar with it.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is V2.
I mean, I don't even know it very well.
No, I don't know. I remember the original one. I had to look it up. But yeah, it's turtle-like. Has a turtle-like carapace and beak, green skin, webbed fingers and toes. Big on politeness and manners, so it may take an insult to not be treated with respect, and will drag humans into the river or lakes and drown them if offended. Wow. Cool. Make sure you have manners. It's a rad piece though. It's almost like that, like old school horror, like Creature of the Blue Lagoon era almost. Captures that vibe, but it's still uniquely like Japanese. You could tell it's like almost like Japanese. It's a cool piece for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. When Mike like locks in on a concept and it doesn't get through, like he won't give up until it's like in there. So I appreciate that persistence.
That I know.
Yeah. Yeah. But all right. Good job, Mike. Moving forward, we got the I'm gonna mispronounce this. Ikeka, Point X, and Soundwave. What are your thoughts on this?
I think it looks nice. He definitely did a good job. I don't have much familiarity with Hawaiian culture or Polynesian culture as a whole. I assume that fits in there somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it's pretty neat. It's clearly a mask or a helmet of some sort, and then he did the little tribal design to balance it on the side. I think it looks nice. So hopefully he'll have voters that it appeals to, because it'll probably turn out looking pretty nice.
Yeah. It's so basically ancient times these helmets were worn to protect the heads of the warriors. Also used as a way to symbolize their strength, fearlessness, and readiness to battle. So yeah. I don't know if we've seen something like this in the past with Clink Room, but maybe Fitted Hawaii did something similar. Art-wise, it's cool. Like you, I'm not too familiar with the subject matter, so I don't know how accurate it really is. But if we're just judging by the art and how it looks cool. It looks rad. I like the flowiness of it. I don't know if it needs the tribal on the side for like you mentioned it for balance. I don't know if it just doesn't really need it to me, but
okay.
Yeah, I do like it.
Yeah, I did get a chance to look at this post too. There was 2 colorways. This is my favorite of the 2 colorways, so it's good that they're showing this one.
Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure. Good little piece though. Good to see Point Exco and Soundwave kind of get together. They're kind of I don't want to say newer to the scene, but more active recently. So good to see them kind of team up. Shaped by Nature, Househead got together with Ink Park, so 2 California guys getting together. Looks like a hat tree.
Yeah.
There's some Japanese vibes. I don't know.
Yeah.
I
think Aaron mentioned that it was bonsai related.
Okay.
I think it's cool. It's very cleanly drawn. It's very much John style, right? I love the colors. I love the brown and pink together, and the cream instead of like a bright white.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I have no complaints about this. I think it's neat. We'll have to see how everybody else feels about it. I mean, it's not like a team logo or anything like that, but it's cool.
Yeah, I almost feel like it needs one more color, whether it's like a maybe a silver or a copper almost. I don't know. I feel like the hats should be a different color than the clouds, but it is a cool piece.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But definitely it's interesting. Interesting piece. It's like the three ways people wear hats too: curved, straight brim, and backwards. It's almost reminds me of. I'm thinking of like Pierre, myself, and Jason for some reason. Pierre with the curved brim, me with the flat brim, and Jason with the backwards hat. So,
backwards hat, yeah.
Yeah. It's a cool piece. Had nothing to do with that, but it just reminds me of it.
Maybe they were thinking of you guys when they did it.
Who knows? But that'd be a cool honor. But yeah, definitely a cool piece. The perspective is really interesting. It's different. You never really see a bonsai tree from like, kind of like that. I mean, I guess that's how you would look at them if you were to look at them, but on a hat, you know, it's kind of a unique piece. Yeah, it's just kind of the branches almost make it look abstract almost too. Like, is there like a hidden face here or something? But definitely.
So yeah, I mean, before I read it, like I said, I think he said bonsai, but when I saw the name Shaped by Nature and the tree, I actually thought it might be tied to Japanese pine, which they're really interesting. If you learn about Japanese pine, they live in the most extreme conditions, and they literally do get shaped by nature.
Oh, okay. So, that might be it then. That might be it. Cool piece though, nonetheless. Butterfly Effect. Seamus the Skunk got together with Jake. This one's real interesting. So, are you familiar with the Butterfly Effect? There was like a really crappy movie in like the early 2000s.
Right. Yeah, but so the expression is that when a butterfly flaps its wings on one side of the world, it causes an effect somewhere else in the world. Yeah, I think it's neat. I don't know if it needs like the water drips at the bottom.
Yeah, he's been getting real liberal with his like drippiness lately. Seamus has.
Yeah. I think I guess the only thing that makes it a butterfly effect though is that it's the butterfly silhouette, and you have to believe that the ship in the storm is caused by the butterfly. I think otherwise, I think it'd be neat if there's a way you could visualize that, like show that the butterfly affects something else. But
yeah, it's a cool piece. I almost wish like the boat was way bigger, just like kind of break that kind of fourth wall and just have it huge, and then maybe it can get like balanced off of like maybe like some type of tornado or monsoon or something. I'm with you though. Rein in a little bit of the drips. The drips almost is almost too much at the bottom, but it is like a cool and unique way to try to pack in like a landscapey thing, a landscapey silhouette with actual like meaning. So I do appreciate that they're trying to take it to the next level. Me myself, I'm not big on the landscape stuff. So
yeah, and to be clear, I don't think they're all drips. I mean, I think the two on the outside are part of the butterfly wings, but
yeah,
I don't think the inner drips are needed.
Yeah, I'm with you. It kind of reminds me a little bit of that Bermuda Triangle. I think Vols did the Bermuda Triangle.
Right.
So it's like a mixture of like a bunch of different like concepts and things within the Clink world, but it is a cool piece for sure. It is a cool piece. All right, 15 radioactive. Magnus is back. This one's a real cool piece. Almost like that. Almost like the Padres brown and gold almost. What are your thoughts here?
I think it's neat in terms of just a simple, animal type logo, the animal head look. It's cool. And Magnus does really great stuff. In fact, sometimes I'm amazed how cool his stuff is on the hats, because I don't know if you see his other artwork. He does like super detailed artwork, and he does it well in both mediums. So
for sure, it's a rad piece, man. My slight issue with it, like, I know that it's because it's radioactive. That's why he's got the extra eyes. The eyes are placed in a spot that almost looks like it's like running tears. But it is a real cool. It is a real cool piece. I always think back to the interview I did with him, and he said one of his favorite things was visiting zoos. So it's like, you do know that he like spends some time, like, kind of researching, and his love for animals kind of shows through. So that's a cool thing about learning a little bit more about him. But yeah, shape was real good. You can see this almost like an alternate logo for the Timberwolves. It's a rad piece for sure. The more you look at it, it's like you can kind of see like a lot of like the different details he uses. But yeah, real nice piece for sure. Want to see more of him, more Magnus, hopefully. All right, the Druid. So again, Matt Bell is back to add his kind of like his fantasy. I don't know what the word, like, classes, I guess, almost like different people you would play or use in like Dungeons and Dragons and stuff. But the Druid is here. He's summoning his animal friends.
Yeah, I like this one. I don't necessarily know what it is, other than the Druid, but yeah, it's cool. He's looks like some kind of creature there. He's got the owl on his arm and the mushrooms popping out of his cloak. I love the glow of the little fireball he has in his hands, or plasma ball, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I'm having a hard time seeing it because of how small it is. Do the fingers look weird to you? The one that's holding the ball of light?
A little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the fingers are a little weird there, but that's about it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I think it's pretty fun.
Yeah, it's like he's got almost like this claw thing going, and then his other hand looks like just like a regular kind of human hand. So there might be like a scaling issue there. But yeah, it's a cool piece. He's like this antler guy, but instead of antlers, he's got branches, and then there's like mushrooms growing out of them, and a random owl. With like you, I have no idea what's going on. I just know it's a rad piece. So I don't even know what druids really do, to be honest. But
Well, I thought druids were just ordinary people. But
I have no clue. Yeah, looking at it, it's making me question what I think they are. But definitely a rad piece.
I get vibes of, I can't think of what the name of the one creature is, but it reminds me of the one mythological creature with the I think it has like a deer head or deer skull.
Not the jackalope, is it?
Not a jackalope, no. It's been a submission. In fact, it might even have been a hat too. I can't think of what
I know what you're talking about. Yeah. It might be, but it's a cool piece. I mean, it almost looks like just like a nature guy, in the fantasy world. So
I like the way, and I like the way it looks overall. I'm not a big green hat guy, but I love the way he made it look. It makes it, I think I could wear it.
It's got that beef and broccoli kind of colorway. Yeah. All right. Moving forward, Polaris. Adam Gill teamed up with Milos. Another landscape one for us to look at. What are your thoughts on this?
I think, I mean, it looks great. Milos does really good artwork. I think it's cool incorporating the Polaris star right there. It's landscape in a circle.
Yeah. It's done nice. It's done nice.
It's done real nice.
Yeah.
I like how I also, and in pointing out what I like how he did the white outline, and then it clearly has like a navy outline inside of that. I think that is a neat touch to it.
Yeah.
It's, for the people that like landscapes, I think it'll do well.
Yeah, it's drawn real cool. A lot of little tricks, like you mentioned, the outline, then the negative space outline. The reflection off the water, real badass. The bear is real cool. I mean, it's hard to draw like polar bear sometimes because it's just white. He kind of solved that by making the outline negative space. Just a cool rad piece. I'm with you though. I'm not huge on the landscape ones, but I can appreciate that the art is done real cool. So. Shout out to Milos and Adam. Good job. 18, we got the Pucara Bulls, Real Fitted Chef, back with sound waves. And that's the scorpion kick.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. I don't know the terms for the kicks in soccer, but
so basically, if you're a goalie, that is like the most badass way to make a save. So if you just picture like throwing your arms forward and then kicking it to save the ball is like one of the most kind of cocky saves you can do. I don't know if that's what this is. It just reminds me of that.
Okay. I like this a lot. I think the bull that he did, I got to read up on this a little bit. And it's a ceramic it's a little ceramic bowl or art piece from Peru, I guess.
Peru, yeah.
I think it's cool. In fact, I think this is one of the favorite ones I've seen Soundwave do in terms of the character itself and how he drew it and everything. I think it'd be cool just the bull by itself, not necessarily have to include the soccer, but it's nice.
Yeah, I'm looking at them right now online. So it's kind of symbolizes protection and fertility. And like you mentioned, Peruvian symbol of protection, fertility, and prosperity. So that's pretty cool. All the ones I see don't have any soccer connection. So that must be something that was intentional for them to mix. Maybe it's the soccer team's kind of colors potentially too. That's a cool tie-in. I'm with you though. I don't know if it needs the soccer ball per se, but cool piece.
Yeah, I think they just said they both like soccer, so that's why they did the soccer.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Probably something they connected over. But yeah, it's a nice piece for sure. All right. I believe this is the last one. So Shortcut, okay. Rick Clifton coming through with, I believe this is like an older design. I've seen this one before, but he's got it in the what they call a flawless, the design that actually Fred Durst made popular with New Era when he took an NY logo and he shrunk it and put it on the bottom left-hand corner of a hat back in the 90s.
Yeah, I
early 2000s. Oh, you had one?
Yeah. I had the Giants version, but yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Well, Rick, I mean, I like his style on a lot of things. It's super simple and clean, and this seems to be popular in terms of like a series because he did the first one was Phantom, right?
Mm-hmm.
with the flag, and then he did the one where it's coming out of the seam. And then this one's pretty cool. The only thing I think about this one is I think it'd be cool if he went with like the green undervisor, like a traditional baseball hat. And because I think, I can't tell here, but when I was looking earlier, it looked like it was a bright white button, but the embroidery kind of off-white. I would say either make the button, that an off-white cream color to match the embroidery, or go with a more white to match the white button.
Yeah. I feel like he's using that kind of like off-whitish color to kind of show you that that's glow in the dark, but I could be wrong.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm with you. The white undervisor, strict no for me. I mean, like that would just get dirty so fast, just touching your hat or even just looking at your hat, it would get dirty. But it's a cool piece. I just don't know if it's enough to really score well in the voting with the flawless look.
Yeah.
I mean, people might like it. I just feel like some people might not be ready, to bring that look back. But it's a cool attempt. He's doing a good job. I almost wish. But
fun fact: he wasn't the first one to do that in the Clink Room. I think really? Flanagan had one. Yeah, right. Flanagan had one. Was like that.
Oh, cool.
I don't know if it ever made it to Critz though, but he did one.
Awesome. I almost wish, like, I know it's not even an option when we could be opening up Pandora's box, but I almost wish that piece was like the back embroidery, like back to the side, and the front would be like the ball, like just like a ball with a swirl, almost like a Dodger, and then like he's just catching it on the back. That'd be like so much cool. But I know that wouldn't even be an option. I just feel like it's a cool like piece and it's a cool feature. I just don't know if it's like enough as a standalone,
Yeah.
But it's a cool piece. I love his like minimalist style. You brought up Phantom and Fan for Life, and like he's kind of standing alone with this like kind of like less is more style, which is totally rad and cool, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah. Appreciate you taking the time. A little bit of a longer show, but we finally got you alone and on the show, and I appreciate you taking the time out, and you've been really generous with your time this Halloween night. For those watching Sunday, we're filming this on Halloween, so appreciate you.
All right, thank you.
All right, where can people find you and connect with you?
Just on Instagram, Gemini Triplets. Also, I'm in on Facebook, Timothy Appel. I'm in the Buy-Sell Trade group. So for those watching this and haven't figured that out yet, that's me.
Perfect. One thing I didn't get to ask you: what is the origin of your username, Gemini Triplets?
My sons.
Oh, you actually have triplets.
Yeah,
Geminis. Oh, okay,
triplet boys.
Yikes! Yeah. All right, cool. That's awesome. All grown up, so you survived. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that must have been hard. Okay, all right, Gemini Triplets. Now we know. But yeah, make sure you guys follow and connect with Tim. Staple in the Clink community. Long time viewer, watcher, collector. You've commented on a bunch of my videos and definitely participated. So I appreciate you being a good part of the community. And yeah, until next time, we're out of here.
All right.
Peace.
See ya.
Eternal damnation. You're at the end of the world as you know it, my dude. Time is up and you out of mood, so what will you do? It's the BP mercenaries not here to...
Brought to you by VFTV.